Well, as I suspected, with the low tide today and the wind direction, I haven't seen a push out like this in a while. So I love metal detecting and walking through this because it's kind of like mudlarking and detecting all together. It's mud detecting. So all this land showing through, we're going to be looking through to see if any bottles have come up. This isn't a day I could spend 12 hours if it stays like this. Wow. All right, I'm gonna do some fast walking here first before I start detecting, just to get an idea of what's going on in here. Well, I'm not seeing as much as I thought I would. It seems like the tide still needs to take about 3 to 4 inches of sand and mud off. I found this little perfume bottle. I was sitting here in the mud. But other than a couple other chunks, I'm not really seeing it. So I'm gonna switch right to some metal detecting and see what we can pull up. Now, with my last little clip being said, before I could get to my little spot, this always looks kind of inviting because of how much is growing around this thing. And the bottle looks interesting. It's broken on the tip. And it looks like a regular crown top. I don't think there's any embossing on that. There's a little food jar. I might want to scrape along this wood because there might be some bottles buried here, which is exactly what I'm going to do for a few seconds. Just popping out here. Well, what's strange is I did all the searching in all this washed out sand. And other than a few bullets, I really didn't get anything, not even any bottles sticking out. And then I decided to do some of this flat sand with the ripples in it. And I already pulled out a weedy, a couple old pieces, and this really old, it's a porcelain doorknob. So this might be a better section. It's gonna fool me today. Well, I do like when they're covered in stuff because it shows some age, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's really old. Sometimes it's cool to just let it dry out and stay like this. Well, the bottle looks thick enough. I'm going to bring it home and clean it up. Maybe. Well, there's nobody around to tell this story to, so I'm going to tell you guys. I just about gave up on this signal right here. I was getting frustrated. I couldn't pick it up. It was disappearing, coming back. It was a jumpy signal. I don't know why that happens with the Equinox, but I know I saw something in there that I'm glad I shot for. Do you see it? And I believe there was something red attached to it. Oh my goodness. What in the world? This needs clear water to clean it off. Holy moly. I'm gonna really hope there's a 14 karat symbol in there somewhere. Oh my Lord. Look at this thing. What are you gonna say to me? There's a symbol. There's a symbol. I don't know what it says. But it says something in there. Oh my. Wow. Did I just do that? I did. Based on where I found this ring and some of the coins and other finds that I found with it, I'm going to date this ring somewhere between the early 1900s up until about the 1940s. It's got a very interesting design cut into this ring, and the gem obviously looks awfully large. I'm going to have to further research this with a professional to get an idea if this is an antique, genuine ruby or not, because it did test positive under my black light. All right, I like this section. Interesting little old fork. Probably silver plated or silver nickel plated. Says something there. Well, I'm thinking I want to get this in video real fast. Yep, I got a pretty cool old pocket knife here. They usually don't come in this good a shape. It's got the wood on the sides. You usually find these pieces all over the place. These little brass endings. Almost could see some knives or some blades left in there, but they always rust out. Well, that's not a key you're going to see every day. It's got a 35 written in it, inscribed. It's pretty worn out. And that's maybe a little post skeleton key. Or it is a skeleton key. Very cool. Well, that was a junky signal, but look what came in with it. Nice big washed out blob top. Well, that appears to be some kind of buckle or clasp, maybe to an old swimming belt. I was hoping something was written on it, but I don't see anything. At first glance at this buckle, there really wasn't any design or writing in it. And I continued to do a little bit of cleaning with it and started to show up the solid brass symbol and this patent date of 27/1925 on it. Further giving some validity that all the finds that I've gotten in this area are right around that 100-year-old range. Here are some of the bathing suits that typically would have been worn in that era, and you can see where the buckle comes from on these outfits that generally were made of wool. Definitely not my style. All right, first silver of the day. It's a mercury dime. A little higher up than I thought it should be, so I have more time to spend on a little higher section of the slope because the tide's coming in. But definitely where the change in color of the sand was. See all this tan sand coming out? It was about 4 inches deep, and that's where the silver was sitting. Now look at this really cool top of a bottle stuck in this. I know I'm obsessed with this concretion stuff, but it's a huge, heavy, wow, iron bar, I'm gonna guess. And that thing's got some history to it, but I don't know how I'm gonna pop that thing out safely. But I do want it. Ah, there it is. Very cool piece. Might even leave it in this thing, although it smells now. This particular ring-shaped object that I had a further look at when I got home suspiciously looked a lot like gold, so I had to test it. Unfortunately, it did not pass the 10K or 14K acid test. All right, well, I have a good slab of my concretion exposed. I'm going to take a few whacks at it and see if I could take home a bunch of pieces to have fun with later in the week. So don't forget to put your safety goggles on. I'll have my gloves on. I'm going to see if I can chip a few pieces off this. All right, always a great place to check out after a few high tide, low tide transfers. These things get moved around, and there definitely was some garbage dumping here 60, 70 years ago. There's some minnow traps that got lost. Those are fresh, they're kind of new. So I'm gonna scavenge around at these low tide marks to see if anything else decided to show up. Maybe even dig a few holes. See what's going on. Maybe even go a little bit further out. But it does appear to go kind of steep. I'd love to see a few bottles show up right in there. But we'll see. Yep, we got some more uranium glass. That would have been something really cool for sure. It is a cold, brisk day today. First morning we actually saw some ice on the ground. But what happens at this time of year is we generally get a wind direction that pushes the water out most of the time, which is great. As we can see already, the tide line is out and it's not really low tide yet, which is great for me, but it's cold and it's windy. And look at the exposure. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of time today, but I'm going to cover a lot of ground. Wow. I just find it so funny how many sneakers and boots are lost here. I just don't get it. Like, how did you get home without a sneaker? Look at this. And here's that horrendous rope from balloons. More plastic junk. I may have to plan a cleanup day here. Just I don't have time today, so it can't be today. Well, you can see again, in my wash, I've got stuff coming out all over the place. Could be hidden a little bit under the sand, but you can see when these bits and pieces start to pop out, the whole wash could have stuff hanging out in it. Like my buddy the mud bagger has a very similar area he searches. You should check out his channel if you like this kind of wash with all these little bits and bobs coming out. And this thing just looked like a piece of lead, appears more like some kind of button with some writing on it. So I'm definitely going to bring that home and look up the history of that. And I'm going to run this whole section here with the time I have left to see if anything's popping out of particular importance. That whole ledge. All right, I'm going to videotape this little section because I did get a coin to pop out, which right now just looks like a regular nickel. Can't really make out a date of that. But there's a lot of other accumulated things in this area. You can see the fishing weight. And just look at this little pool right here. Let me get my scraper. Look at this pool right here. I mean, some dirt got in it already. But look at the collection of stuff that's sitting in here, from old bullets, fishing weights, copper pieces. It all just collected in this little pool, and you definitely have to scrape it out, look and see what's buried underneath, because there's a reason this stuff is sitting here and got collected here.
I'll always bring out the fishing weights, but like I said in the last video, I don't know how many more of these little lead bullets I can take out. But you'd never get a metal detector through here because, come on buddy, there's just too many metal pieces. The thing would go crazy. You gotta get down and look. You gotta get down and look through this. There's something right there. Interesting lead piece. And this is what I'm gonna do, is scrape around and see if any more coins pop out. Because it's mixed history. You could find that regular nickel like I just did, but then you can find a coin from the early 1800s sitting right next to it. There's no rhyme or reason. As long as you find something old, then you can get the good stuff in here too. I hope.
Guys don't get anything anymore. Well, I told you it was low tide, but I don't think it's that windy out right now.
It's not windy.
It's not. I don't see any boats in the water. I'm gonna do a little bit right here because I gotta go back to work. What are you taking a picture of? The birds?
No, just the grass here.
Well, in an attempt not to sound too sappy and emotional, it is Thanksgiving morning, and I am incredibly thankful for what I am able to do. Come out here and do this, something I love. A healthy family at home that as of right now I don't have to worry too much about, which brings an incredible amount of peace to my soul. That's it, I said it. I'm not taking it back. There appears to be a tiny little seashell charm to possibly a thin bracelet. It's been out here a little while. Well, just about to meet my twin brother down here. He's running a little bit late. And this is our starting point, and we're gonna work up, which is actually, believe it or not, west, although it looks like it's north. And with 2.5 hours before low tide, I'm really liking how far out the tide is already. And this is definitely showing some wash.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't bag anything yet,
Been good pull out.
but I like what the tide looks like down here. Yep.
I'm almost tempted to go out there.
Let's try it.
How much, here.
Well, that might be one of the most beat up IHPs I've ever found, but it does date the area. That is an Indian head scent. Well, that Indian head scent had a friend, and I believe with a little wash, that's going to be a barber dime. It is, nice and silver. Yeah, there's the one dime on the back. Yeah. It's going to go early 1900s, maybe late 18. I can see a date on there. It might come up.
Well, we're out in the middle of nowhere. Finally got a nice high signal, and we got that black coin in there. You know what that means? It's definitely silver. Sun finally came out, so we could see this pretty good. Oh, it looks like a looks like that could be a merc. All right, let's see if we can find its brothers and sisters. This one took a while to dig. You get frustrated. You really want to give up. I was literally down on my hands and knees trying to find it. It's big like a quarter, a little bigger than a quarter. I don't quite know yet what it is. Not yet. I hope it cleans up. I can't tell if it's silver. Got some writing in there. We'll probably make out what it is. It's a nice size, bigger than a quarter.
Well, I just gave him the signal to head over this way. This might be the most unbelievable week ever. I got another ring in here with a stone in it. This time it's not red. Just kind of looking at this one. It's big. Oh my goodness. Look at this thing. Holy moly. And it's got something written in there. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, it's 10K too. Holy macaroni. All right, he's got to come over here. I am way out. It doesn't even make any sense that I would find this out here. But I pulled a ruby the other day, and now this bluestone, I don't even know what they call it. But this thing's been sitting out here a long, long time. And they're both 10K. Oh man. Wow, look at that thing.
Might have just gotten a military belt. Just start to make maybe some wings on that. Maybe. There we go. Could get a cleaner shot when I get home, but I see some wings on there. On the back side. Hold on for a second. It's just a piece of white lead. What's that all about?
That looks like it would have been a fishing weight. It almost looks homemade. I'm liking that. I That's one I haven't seen. Look at that
This,
thing.
I think, is a crushed thimble.
Hold on, hold on.
I like getting most of
With
it.
the shank in the back. Oh my god, look at how dirty my fingers are.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got an eye in the center. That could be infantry. That does look like a crushed thimble. No, maybe not. What's this coin here? Oh yeah, look at that. That's the one you showed me in the water.
I did end up getting a merc.
You gotta clean this bad boy up and
Think it'll clean
send
up
me a
well?
picture. It might not be silver. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. Can't get a good look. I know you said there were two faces here. And there's Louisiana Purchase. Centennial, maybe?
We'll find it. I think it's just a
Oh, that's a cool buckle.
50-cent piece, right?
Yeah, look at that little bugger. Nice.